Let's go Knicks! Playoff ball is here, and the Knicks take game 1, 123 to 112 at MSG, and the New York Knicks escape with this victory after a late comeback, a campaign eruption, a 21-0 run in the fourth quarter, and the Pistons wilted under the pressure as the Knicks stepped up defensively. They got down in a hole and they dug themselves out, and grittiness prevailed in this one. The Knicks had a key role player step up in a major way. Shout out to the defense, locking down, forcing 19 turnovers, and the Pistons came to play in this one, man. But the Knicks prevailed late. Let's close this thing out early, ladies and gentlemen. We got over the rust, the nerves, the jitters, and playoff ball is here, and the Pistons know what they're in for right now. What a performance in that fourth quarter. Man, it was amazing. Garden at its best, MSG playoffs, national TV. We have the viewing site as well. We'll take a look at that. CC, Chris Gotti, Shez V in the building. What's up, Daniel? Elliot, Tendrell. Man, campaign. Baller's going to show out in the big stage, you know. And look, campaign's a guy that he plays with no conscience, you know. We see these guys, some of these guys were a little bit tentative, you know, a little bit nervous, a little bit afraid to make a mistake. They just needed that spark, man. And campaign got loose, and they weren't ready for that. You know, the Pistons, they can game plan and you can scheme for certain things, but you can't game plan for a guy that's just going to, you know, throw up the shot. You know, he's got the range, we know it. And obviously, Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, they got too loose early in this one. But as Karl Anthony Towns had the walk-off interview, man, he finished with 5 steals, they report, 2 blocks, plus 22, team high. Josh Hart as well. I love that connection from Hart and Cat when Hart got the fast break. Mitchell Robinson, I thought, gave the Knicks a really good spark as well. And the pick and roll, we needed his energy early. Getting Isaiah Stewart in foul trouble changed this ball game, guys. David says it was an excellent confidence booster needed. I think we were in our own heads. Let's go Knicks. We need that Cam, baby. CC says we need Cam play. JI says great win. Detroit knows what playoff basketball is right now. Salute Cardiac. Diehards in the building. Great bounce back. You know, we showed fortitude. You know, and that's what we want to see from this Knicks team, man. It ain't always going to be pretty. But one of the reasons why we love last year's team so much is that it was so gritty, you know? And the viewing site erupted, man, outside MSG in this one. Look, Timmy Hardaway tried to kill the Knicks. Obviously a revenge game. Tobias Harris, man, 22 points at the half as well. I thought the Pistons played the perfect 3 quarters, man. I really didn't think the Pistons could play any better. Pistons fans might think otherwise. In the first 3 quarters, obviously the fourth quarter is one to forget for them. But I've been preaching out about all season, guys, the dual point guard lineups. You know, dual point guard lineups was a big key. And no doubt it fueled the Knicks. They got out. They were able to switch a lot easier. OG did a phenomenal job fighting over screens all game as well. His campaign went crazy. We won the assist battle. So let's take a look at the stats. The Detroit Pistons won the rebounding 52 to 44. We have to do a better job. A couple of those second chance points killed us from 3. But 26 assists from the Knicks to 23 Detroit. So we were sharing and caring a lot more late because we got 12 steals in comparison to Detroit 6. But the turnovers, 9 from the Knicks, 19 from the Detroit Pistons, man. They did not play Detroit basketball tonight. We played New York Knicks basketball, baby. We shot 38% from 3, just enough. Obviously some big threes from Cam, but they shot 46.9. from 3 as well. So we're going to have to do our best to clean that up. Salute Al Tango, buzzer beater, David in the house. And what's up, Ryan? Great to see you guys. Payne was a hero in this one. Right, we're going to give out these grades. Yeah, Shez V says Macau was a -16 in this one. Yeah, Macau struggled defensively. He needs to get more physical, but as a whole, I think the adjustments Tibbs made, it changed this game. Tibbs wasn't going to go down, man, with a loss in this one. He needed to switch things up because when they got down, was it 9, 11, 12 even? I knew there was a way back, but we just weren't playing well at that point, man. We weren't playing well, but we did it. Possession by possession by possession, I think some folly from Detroit obviously helped things, too many 3-second violations. Credit to the Knicks, getting Isaiah Stewart in foul trouble was key. Sho Khan says Cat played his best defense all season. Yeah, and that fueled our offense, man. 21-0 run is the best run of our season, right? Talk about saving that for the postseason, exactly like Buzzer says, man. It's money time, right? And you want to show up when it is money time, and the Knicks went on their best run. Man, I'm so hyped right now. And look, we learned a lot of things. We learned a lot about, Detroit's fortitude. They played a great 3 quarters, but we also learned that we can't get careless in this series, They got the 3-point snipers. I don't think they're going to be able to shoot 47% from downtown. They almost outshot their field goal percentage from downtown, which is insane. But they missed some free throws, 75% from the stripe to the Knicks 88. Fam, our OGs will love that one, man. Taking care of the points at the line. The Knicks went 15 of 17 from the line, man. That's game right there. That's key. 26 assists as well, solid. Look, Jalen Brunson, he obviously had a great finish to the game, but early in the fourth, late third, it was struggle town. Fell on the ankle and looked to be walking gingerly. Had to go back. I think take some. He changed his sneakers. He changed his sneakers up. Finished 12 of 27, but 2 of 5 from downtown. I'll take that. An 8 of 10 from the free throw. Finished +2 in this one, but he dished 9 assists. So that was a team high as well. Hart, credit to him, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 13 points, +20 as well. And look, 9 turnovers. I really like that, fam. You win the possession battle. You win the battle of the turnovers. You got a great chance of executing right there, fam. Under the pressure cooker, to only have 9 turnovers in 48 minutes is key. Right? No player had any more than 2 turnovers. Not even Hart, not even Cat. In fact, Cat, 0 turnovers right there from Karl Anthony Towns. So that was big time. That was key. Who gets your game ball, ladies and gentlemen? I have not even decided on the game ball. So you guys decide in the building, the loyals, the diehards in the house, orange and blue in our veins. The Knicks take the lead in the series 1-0 as we catch our breath, fam, as well. The Knicks' depth stood up. Deuce McBride didn't have a great game, got blocked at the rim, airballed the 3, got beat, a couple of shooters got loose. Bridges as well didn't have a great game as well. And the Knicks still pulled it out because we had more guys step up, I'm worried on their behalf for Isaiah Stewart because reports that his knee is really hurting him. And obviously that's going to be a major issue for them, man. El Tango says definitely money time. We took their hearts in the fourth. OG was a demon in that one. Yeah, getting our hands in the passing lane, that was key. Couldn't ask for more of an exciting finish, Tendrell. Yeah, my heart was in my mouth, man, all game. But you just know that's the way it's going to be. So I thought, Payne's eruption kind of evened things out for the role players, fam. Cade didn't really have a great game, turned it over. I think him and Brunson kind of cancel each other out. OG definitely, met the production that Tim Hardaway gave them early, and obviously Cat won I think he won the battle late against Tobias Harris. I thought Mitch probably won the battle over Jalen Duren. Or Sarah Thompson, Mikal Bridges kind of cancel each other out. Minimal impact. Isaiah Stewart, though, Payne gave us way more. Malik Beasley, he outplayed Deuce. But Payne absolutely won the battle against Schroeder and Malik. Ron Holland wasn't much of a factor as well. Landry Shamet did struggle early in this game as well, but gave us some minutes, I'm actually glad that Tibbs went 9 deep. So that is one of the major stories in this one, fam, is Tibbs went 9 deep in game 1 after a 6-day rest. That's my biggest surprise. When he played Shamet early before Deuce, I thought, okay, he's definitely going to go 8. But now he went 9 because Payne got loose. Obviously, Mitch, I thought, could have played more minutes. Mitch had his moments, 6 rebounds, 3 offensive, but the 2 blocks came at a great time as well. We really did miss Mitch down low in the paint. But once Isaiah Stewart went out, Cat was more dominant in this one. Angel in the house, Jay Giant, what's good? Says Cade can't go 7 games with OG. Yeah, OG's a demon. He's definitely showing that physicality. Julian says, I was buzzing mad the first half, but they redeemed my hope passing the rock because Brunson tried too much hero ball in that first. He was definitely trying a bit too much hero ball, fam. 8 dimes was solid, though, late. Our defense, we said it all season, man. It fueled that run, man. It fueled that run like fire, man. Stops, forcing 19 turnovers. Tibbs will be proud. I think Tibbs will be happy with the grit shown in this one. The spirit of Dante, Randall, and Isaiah Hartenstein, I felt like was in this building tonight because, the Knicks were down and they did it through defense, through grittiness and all of that. Bob with the super chat. Great comment, says, to all the right lovers, how was Cam? Cat and OG's defense stepping up big time to get this team the dub as they lead 1-0. Payne, man, he's built for the playoffs, He's just one of those guys. He's got the no conscience, like I said earlier, like Dante, like J.R. Smith, Shump. Those players, they rise to these occasions, man, with the energy. You take the good and the bad. There was a couple of ill-advised shots in the first half from Cam, but, he stepped up when we needed him big time. I felt like at halftime, as I look ahead, the Knicks 57-55, I felt like the Knicks deserved to be up by more. I felt like we were letting them hang around a bit too much. That moment when we got up 5 in the second quarter, and then we just lost our way. We let them get loose from 3, and then we're down 2, and then we're back up. It was a seesaw in that first half, man. B Fit says 1 down, most def. Salvador says, I did say Cam comes ready to brawl. Read his lips on that run. We here, get the F out of here, set that tone. Great comment as well, Salvador. Payne brought the pain, says Cardiac. Yep. If they don't already know Payne, they're going to know Payne right now is Detroit, man. They're feeling it right here, like we were last season, man. One of those games where we lost to Philly. We're like, really? Payne? I already see the haters perking up on Twitter saying Payne. It just goes to show these guys ain't paying attention, man. He's been in our rotation all season, It ain't like Tibbs dusted off Payne and it's like, all right, Hail Mary, we're down. Payne's a part of our rotation, man. Tibbs kept the faith. He kept him in it, as the legends were in the building, man. The electricity was on point tonight, man. It was crazy. We had defense a cappella as well during that break. we had an extended break because the beverages got spilt on the sidelines. I'm looking at Celebrity Row, and I was a little bit worried because the Knicks were making their huge run. I'm like, all right, this is going to give the Pistons a little bit of time to kind of compose themselves. But no, man, the Knicks forced a 5-second. Before that, they got a transition basket, got it up the court. Payne hit the big three, and the run just continued like an avalanche on that one. CC says Johnny, he made some plays. Agent says Major Payne came in and he did what Bridges was supposed to do offensively. Yeah, he just wasn't tentative, you know. Now's not the time to be tentative. You got the crowd on your side. You got MSG. Just go down on your sword, you know. Fire at will, open shots. It definitely spaced them out, you know. But how about, man, how about the poster on Mitchell Robinson, from Mitchell Robinson on B Stew, man? Young kids on the come up are going to have this on their wall. I might cop it as well, man. That is cold. I literally had chills when I looked at this because I really felt it in me with last season, you know, Mitch down, just seeing him healthy in the playoffs, making an impact, you know, blocking some shots, coming up with some critical loose balls as well, winning the tips. Mitchell Robinson, man, that was filthy on Beef Stew. And that just goes to show we have the size, we have the physicality, we have the athleticism. Isaiah Stewart's a great rim protector on the X's and O's, but he's 6'8". You know, Mitchell Robinson's a clear 6'7" over the 6'8" Beef Stew on that one. And let's pull up the highlight. There was a cockback, exactly like Shump, and the bench was loving it, man. Good to see the bench come to play tonight as well. They were focused, clapping their hands, giving that energy. Man, that was filthy, right? That was filthy. Isaiah Stewart's knees, you know, the longer this series goes, they might have to go down the well and dust off Paul Reed in that one. It was insane. Great to see you in the building, Jay. Lionel's in the house. And Mr. Jehovah, great win, but we must play better. 100%. 100%, guys. You know, we learn. We learn from these games. As I'll say it, I don't really feel like Detroit could have played any better in the first half. They were hitting their open shots, and yeah, we were giving up some open looks, but I don't think Bridges can play any worse defensively. There's some positive signs moving ahead because Tibbs is trusting a 9-man, and he might cut it down. He might cut it down later as the series goes on, but you know, Payne came to play, and Tibbs trusted the man over Deuce, and him and Brunson are actually a lethal combination. We haven't seen it a lot, too. His gravitas allowed Cat to actually get one of his threes, you know, and we know how critical Cat getting threes up is, man. Cat only attempted 3 threes, right, and that needs to get better because we can't have Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway hoisting more threes than Karl Anthony Towns. You know, he's the best stretch big on the court. Good to see Brunson got up 5 threes though. Somebody has to get them up. OG went 3 of 8 as well, 38%. That was solid. So let's lock in individually, start from the top, and let's give out these grades because I've got to start with OG Anunoby. You know, OG, he battled all game. You know, he was an absolute lion defensively and kept Cade quiet in the first half. A large part of those 19 turnovers from Detroit were a huge part because of OG Anunoby. But OG came to play offensively. You know, he was dynamite with the step backs, 38% from downtown on 8 attempts. You know, the stocks as well. He finished with 5 steals, 2 blocks, and a plus 10, 23 points is the big Demon Obi. So I feel like I've got to give out multiple game balls. It's just that kind of game, man. And OG's definitely got to get one of them. Patrick's in the house. Salute. Johnny says OGA plus as well. And Bridges is definitely going to have to man up and toughen up as well. I hear you guys. I hear you. Cardiac says JB needs to stop starting the game with the hero ball and get the guys going by moving the ball. Leave the hero for closing out the game as well. Yep. Yeah, we gotta get a more even shot distribution, I feel, is what you're saying as well. But yeah, Payne got 7 shots up, 5 threes, so that's key, right? If you ain't gonna get many shots up, if you're a role player, but 90% of them are threes, that's good. That's exactly what we need. Someone to come in, change of pace, and that's what we got tonight. As Landry got one of his baskets cutting to the rack. But yeah, OG 7 rebounds, 3 offensive, 5 steals is unbelievable. 2 blocks, game ball coming up for OG Anunoby, right? They haven't revealed the defensive teams yet, but my God, if OG is not on there, then we need to have some serious words about that, because OG Anunoby is definitely one of the best defenders in the league right now, and he just showed it tonight. So first grade of the evening, together with the game ball in the playoffs, stepping up when the moment is bright, took the bag in the off season. We already know he showed out last season in the postseason against Philly, and he picked up where he left off tonight, man. No drop off, no letdown. OG's just been a demon since the All-Star break, man. And yeah, I think this is synonymous, because if I told any Knicks fan anywhere in the world that OG gets an A+ and a game ball, I would say any Knicks fan would say that we won the game. You know, we won the game. If OG's an A+ with a game ball, you know it's a dub. G-Man, salute. Defensive team. Yep. Smash that like button, guys. We're buzzing right now. Playoff ball, and the Knicks are here, right? F the haters, F the doubters, because the Knicks showed their grit and their fortitude to come from behind, right? Credit to Detroit as well. I'm not discrediting them. I thought they played a sensational first 3 quarters. They executed their game plan, you know. We allowed them to actually get loose a lot of those threes. However, when it became money time, when it became clutch, right, the more experienced team, more talented team stepped up, right? I mean, they even got great contributions from Dennis Schroeder. You know, I was going crazy seeing Dennis Schroeder get loose, man. But how about that vision of Schroeder when the timeout happened and the camera's on Schroeder's face, but Payne is screaming at him from behind, man. Right, a picture paints 1,000 words with that one. Payne was giving it to Dennis Schroeder, man. He was giving it to him from behind in that one, in that footage, man, that graphic. Patrick says OG played his butt off. He was all over. Yep, that's what we need from the Demon, man. Cade's legit. Like, Cade's coming, man. He turned the ball over a lot, but you know, I thought he didn't look for his shot enough. I thought Cade was a little bit too passive, and they probably needed him to step up when the lights got brightest, you know, and he just wasn't able to. That shows he's more of a facilitator right now, mindset. Cade has to take over a game, I think, for Detroit to actually win a game. If Cade doesn't step up in money time and try to take over a game offensively, Detroit won't win a game. Right, I'm here to say that right now. Right. You can't rely on Tobias Harris down the stretch. We've seen that before. You can't rely on a role player like Tim Hardaway and Beasley to create their shot when the defense tightens up. Cade's going to have to be that guy to step up. And if he wants to attack OG Anunoby, then trouble is going to ensue, because OG Anunoby gets a game ball as a two-way demon right now. By the way, we're going to look at the results, because Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers lost in a heartbreaking fashion down the stretch. But we have our own version, a younger version of Kawhi, OG Anunoby, on the two-way play. GK, salute, says Cat maybe had his best two-way quarter. I think definitely did as a Nick. Definitely. Yep. Tony's in the house. Good to see you, fam. Queen's Place. Big up, Daras. Uh, Johnny says Rusty Brunson missing shots, while Bridges twiddles his thumbs, is not winning ball. Get your man involved. Yep. Look, a lot of Knicks basketball is fast break, transition, and Bridges might not get many buckets in the half court, but he has to be a guy that creates disruption on the defensive side. And I feel like that's how he's going to get his points as well. KA says sell OG to the Warriors. No chance in hell of that happening, fam. Those guys have got Jimmy, though. Jimmy Butler. He does force a lot of fouls. Buzzer says we took Detroit's best shot and we still won. Amen, brother. I couldn't say it any better, fam, because I really feel like Detroit played a good game outside of the collapse, They played a solid game. When push comes to shove, like I said, they just need to know their identity down the stretch, right? Maybe tonight Detroit win a regular season game, and that is exactly why it's been 3 Detroit, 1 Knicks in the reg season, But when the Knicks went into that huddle to end the third quarter, they knew that there's no way out unless they pull out a sensational quarter, and they just sold out. Best defense of the game, best run of the season, 21-0. And Detroit haven't been in those situations before. The regular season is not that, man. It ain't that. So next up, right, we're going to save a bit of love for the Payne train because he came off the bench, but we're going to talk about our man's Cat, right? First playoff game as a New York Knick, right? Got the walk-off interview, and there was some lapses on the pick and roll, definitely, but Cat came to play in the fourth quarter. We didn't really need Mitchell Robinson because after Beef Stew got foul trouble, Cat handled his business, in a major way. I was happy to see him get that 3 off, man, but this block just feels great to see Cat make that massive impact. So with that said, man, Karl Anthony Towns will take a look at his numbers and give out his grade right now. I feel like for 3 quarters, it was Detroit's best shot, but yeah, minus the fourth quarter. They did fade a little bit on that one, Cardiac. But it's not due to Cade's ability. I feel like the Knicks just, buckled up defensively. So who knows if he's going to be able to stand the heat. He might not be able to stand the heat. He might have to, start giving up the rock quicker. But Cat, 10 of 14, a 71% from the field, 11 bounds, all defensive, 5 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 23 points on a plus 22 from Karl Anthony Towns. So those are some insane numbers right there. 71% from the field. Hopefully he can get those threes back up. You love to see the 11 rebounds, though. The Knicks would have been screwed. They already lost the rebounding battle by 10. But the 4 steals and the 5 steals, I believe, 2 blocks made up for that. And a team high, plus 22. Right. So with that said, let's give out Cat's grade right here. Plus 22. I mean, the production was insane. So I've still got to go, despite some ups and downs defensively in the first half. Cat gets the A+ for me. And I'm also going to give Cat a game ball in this one because he helped close it out late. What do you guys think? Daras says B+. Johnny says A-. Stefan, what's good? What a comeback. J.I. says it's hard to believe the Knicks lost to Detroit 3 times this season. And Queen's Place says, yeah, Tibbs made some good moves. Absolutely. Some good adjustments. Yeah, and J.I., I feel like regular season, the games were different, One of the games, Ivy played. One of the games, Osar Thompson missed. All 4 of the games, Mitchie didn't play. Yeah, and regular season ball is just so different. you know. I did miss the halftime performance from Jada Kiss, though, as well. That was great to see Kiss perform for the fans as well. What a ticket to be in the building tonight, man. It was crazy. It was electric. Um, and welcome to the brighter stage, Cade Cunningham and Detroit, too. So, um, my biggest praise on Tibbs was that he trusted 9-man rotation, enough to make adjustments. Deuce was struggling, get Cam out there. Bridges was struggling, he played more heart as well. So I like the t-shirt giveaway as well. All black. It was cold, definitely. And it was great to have Clyde on the call. We did have Tyler Murray because Breen is going to be doing the national game, I believe, with the Lakers right now. But MSG won't have anywhere past the first round. So let's savor these games, because this could be Clyde's final playoff series, fam. News is coming out that from next season onwards, they're making every single playoff series game national TV as a mandatory as well. So no more first round local broadcasts from next season onwards as well, right? And obviously the MSG won't have the second round this season as well, but they'll be doing the post games and pre games as well. So, Cade, what do you guys make of the biggest threat? I knew that they would go cold because I'm like, man, Tobias Harris can't shoot like that all game. But then it was the next guy that stepped up. It was Timmy. And then when Timmy went cold, it was Schroeder that stepped up. So that's why I really do believe that Detroit kind of got a complete game from most of their role players, but they just collapsed down the stretch because the Knicks just had too much, man. And the crowd gave their love to Cam Payne. So because Brunson and Bridges didn't have their best game, we'll give Hart his flowers in a minute. But let's shoot ahead to the bench, because we don't win this game without the man named Cam Payne. Guys, he went absolutely ballistic with no conscience as well. That 21-0 run was the best run of our season, man. And it came in the nick of time, man. I'm not going to say we were dead and buried, but we were stumbled, man. We were dazed. We were dazed and confused. But Cam Payne's that playoff guy, He's got the experience. And once again, the legend is just getting started with Cam Payne and the playoff New York Knicks, right? And what a shot that was from JB. We'll take a look at that when we look at JB's numbers. But Cam Payne, now's the time to give him his flowers, because, there's going to be a few people sign some apologies. People talking about DeLon Wright, the savvy veteran, Kolek. People talking about him getting a shot. Shamet didn't perform in the limited minutes in the first half. But when we needed a guy to step up, it was Cam Payne, man. You have to respect his 3 game as well. My favorite play was when he took Beasley to the rack. Right, Beasley, he showed him to the left, and he took him off the dribble straight to the rack and won. That was a big momentum changer. And to say we got 14 points out of Cam Payne, I would say, that's a long way to getting a dub, because we know how important those bench points are for this team, and especially limited minutes as well. Do we get to see Bridges' minutes get cut? I think it'll be game dependent, Patrick. But it just goes to show that we do have some guys we can rely on, Maybe it wasn't going to be Cam's night. It could have been Miles next game. Shamet might get loose in the next game. We'll definitely benefit from some production off our bench, because I don't want JB to be a primary scorer in this series, right? He has to get guys going, and get Detroit, basically kill them, death by 1,000 cuts as well. Yeah, Rice says Jada performs top 5 dead or alive. Knicks winning every playoff game. Amen. Man, anyone in the building, let us know. But on TV, it was crazy, man. It definitely it lives up to the billing every single playoff game, man. Watching a playoff game at Madison Square Garden is insane, and I'll never take it for granted right now. Good screen from Deuce as well. That was a good screen. Also, the fact that the Pistons were dazed in that one off the campaign run, and Cat got that big three off. So the grade coming up now from campaign. Let's pull that up. And Cam, it was the killer tonight. 14 minutes, 5 of 7, 3 of 5 from downtown, 60%, 14 points, and a team high plus 23. Actually, I missed that earlier. He just pipped Cat by 1 and a plus 23. Cameron Payne, they call him, with an assist and a steal as well. So we don't do this very often, man. But Cam has to get a game ball because, he was that spark that we needed, right? And actually, I'll adjust that grade. Cam gets an A, and I'm going to give him a game ball as well, right? Because he showed up tonight, and now he's on their radar, Are we going to see some kind of adjustment off their bench in terms of respecting campaign a lot more, right? Now, he's been criticized as being more of a shoot-first kind of player rather than get guys involved. But tonight, the game dictated what we needed out of Cam, man. We needed him to to fire at will, late. He only got 1 dime, but he got us a steal. And if he finishes plus 23, I'll take that all day. So if he has 1 or 2 of these games, that's the series done right there. I did say in my preview, if Bridges plays a good series, the Knicks will win comfortably. But if you swap his production and campaign gives us that level of scoring, then I'll take it, man. If campaign outscores Bridges, then, he definitely should be getting more minutes, more than 14. Patrick says, yeah, Brunson is our primary scorer. It's too predictable because he's only 6'1". Yeah, it's a bad matchup. And I say that with all respect, right? Not saying that Brunson can't score on Osar Thompson. Of course he can. He's one of the greatest ISO scorers, but he just needs to pick his possessions, and be smart about it and not try to foul bait, And we're going to move back over to the starters and talk about JB in this one. I'm grateful that he got to finish the game out. We'll see how he looks in game 2. Obviously, he'll benefit from some rest between games 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 with 2 days rest. But yeah, JB looked a little bit hobbled in that stretch late. But yeah, Tibbs was smart with the dual point guard lineups, and that really helped the Knicks close this thing out with energy. The Mitchie putback was probably my favorite play of the game, but this was arguably the second favorite play of the game as well, man. I don't know how Hart saw Cat, man, he's got eyes behind his head right now. I thought Hart was about to get a shot blocked in this one, but the last second, man, with his high B-ball IQ, he pulled it back out and found a cutting Karl Anthony Towns running the floor like we need him to. Salute Luke. Salute Knicks chat, Knicks buzz, Knicks streets. Stefan gives us the update. Appreciate you. Timberwolves up 8 over the Lakers. 5 minutes left in the second. That's a great series, man. I really give the Timberwolves a chance. I know a lot of people aren't, but I really feel like they've got that chip. They can mix it up, but they are going to have to do it the hard way, I feel like, and probably win it in 7 if they do. Speaking of heart, the heart of the city, another block. So it was second, third, fourth man helping tonight as a team team effort as well. And another key stat, if I told you guys that the Knicks forced Detroit into 19 turnovers, 100% you would say that the Knicks won the ball game. And so we did that and we got it done, man. Our offense turned up when it was needed. Queen's Place is, yeah, that watch along at MSG must be jumping right now, especially with the early tip off. You know, right now, what is it? It's only what, 9:30 Eastern, right? Only 9:30 Eastern. Great to be rocking out with everyone, and smash that like button. Our New York Knicks take a 1-0 lead, and Jalen Brunson, the captain, hit that big three, I think, to start the second half, and that was much needed. So that was, yeah, to start the second half, that one. So let's give out the grades for JB. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, but there was definitely some areas that he needs to clean up. He killed us through probably a 4-minute stretch where he was turning it over, he was looking for his shot a bit too much. But Captain finished with 8 dimes, a +2 still. Defensively, he was a liability at times, chasing those shooters. They were attacking him as well, but he showed that fortitude, right, to finish with 34 points, +2, 8 dimes, 2 rebounds, and he converted 8 of 10 from the free throw. So heroic finish in this ball game, but I like the dual point guard lineups because it does take some of the burden off of JB when we need. So I'm going to go, I'm going back and forth, but I think by JB standards, I think he could play a lot smarter. This has nothing to do with his heart and his will. However, I feel like he could play a lot smarter. So I'm going to go B+ for the captain, right? Duras given JB a B. Luke says A. Michael Drake, salute. Patrick says Tibbs needs to go 10 deep, nothing to lose. Yeah, I would like to see Mitch's minutes go up because I do think we probably mitigate some of those defensive issues that we had if Mitch is out there. The moment he put Mitch back in, man, Cade tried to go to the rack and Mitchie got that block. That was such a key play because I was screaming out, please get Mitch back in the ball game. And the moment he got back in, Cade tried to attack him. He got the blow by, and then Mitchie was waiting for him, and he just swatted the ball straight back out. And I think the Knicks got in transition, in that one. So Mitch had a huge impact, and we're going to talk about Mitch in a second. But yeah, Brunson closed it out, B+. Josh Hart is next up. Josh Hart finished with my second favorite play of the night. But Hart had 6 dimes, 13 points on a 7 rebound +20 performance. He got his 2 offensive bounds, 6 of 10 efficient from the field. They didn't really dare him to shoot. We'll see what happens as the series goes. He hit his 1 big 3, and that came at a critical time because the Knicks were down. I think the Knicks were down their largest margin, or at least 8, 9, 10, when Hart hit that big 3. And it sort of came off a scramble, loose ball. And the Knicks were fighting to get back in that ball game. So look, solid game from Josh Hart. Playoff numbers, 13, 7, and 5. +20, though, is a huge dynamic number because, we win the game by, 9 points? But to be a +20 in 30 minutes, if Hart is a positive in his minutes, then the Knicks close this series out. The Knicks close this thing out early. Jay Hart, a B++, says Duras. Hart, an A from Johnny. Yep, I like Hart's energy in this one, especially late. And he definitely fuels the garden like Mitchie's putback. Man, a la Shumpert in that one. So let's dial up the grade. I'm going to give Hart... I'm going to go... Let me go A, because Josh Hart stuffed the stat sheet, man. To be a +20 is definitely massive. It's huge, man. And he's got that heart. Um, and we're going to need a lot of that. I'm expecting us to go on a deep run, man. I'm not looking past the Pistons just yet. Let's take care of business in the next game, and let's put the Pistons in a world of pressure to win Game 3 right there. Because that game, if we win the next game, Game 2, and we play a more complete 4 quarters, it's going to be tough for Detroit, as the Knicks will gain more confidence. But going into Game 3, there's going to be so much pressure on them, because you win Game 3 and the Knicks might just close them out in 4, or they'll definitely close them out in 5. You know? I know we're jumping back and forth, but I want to save bridges and talk about some more constructive things moving forward in the series. But my God, it was great to see Mitchell Robinson back healthy in a playoff game. The longest tenured Knick, man. He's been a New York Knick for 7 years now. 7 years, man. It's crazy how long it's been in terms of how fast it's gone as well. Came into the league as a raw player. Summer league opened a lot of eyes. Had his moments, got his extension right now. We didn't know what we were going to get. Delayed return, early March, supposed to be late February, early January at times. But here he is now, fully healthy, man, given the Knicks' energy and a spark defensively. Mitchell Robinson was key in this ball game, and I loved his energy that he gave us. Mitchie finished with a perfect 100% from the field, including a few tip backs. Gave us 6 rebounds, 3 offensive, as only Mitch does. 6 points, 2 blocks, and a steal. Was a -9 in his 17 minutes. So that can be misleading. I really feel like the -9, the Knicks were obviously getting down in those minutes together with the other guys. The Knicks made their run when Isaiah Stewart went out, and the Knicks went more smaller, and they got faster as well with more floor spacing. So that did benefit the Knicks, but that doesn't take away from what Mitch is going to be able to do in this series and what he gave us in this one. Stefan says, Mitch, one of my favorites. He plays hard, and Mitchie balled out, says Michael. OG, definitely an A++. Patrick says it's very critical for the Knicks to win game number 2. Yep, if they will, they're in the driver's seat. Most definitely. That dunk changed the flow of the game, Luke. Yep. We need that energy, because the crowd can go silent. We know that. As our guy, John Schmelt, says it here, I want to bring up this comment. Because, this came in a moment where Landry Shamet got blocked at the rack by Jalen Duren, and the Knicks were facing adversity at that point. The Pistons were getting some momentum, and I really feel like the referees blew that call, because Jalen Duren got the ball, but he hit the arm of Landry Shamet with Duren's other arm as well, and they just don't look at that. One arm on Landry's arm and the other arm on the ball, but nonetheless, we got it done. But that was a key moment, like Luke said. Execution matters, right? Great cut from Landry, and Cat found him on that one. Mummy Starter says, sup, guys, salute from France. Great to see you. Lou Bang, good day, brother. Detroit got a taste of the Payne. Most def. Payne is coming to play. He comes with the energy. He brings it. The change of pace, the tempo, the floor spacing as well. Out of all the shots that I prefer from campaign, those threes are lethal. They're dangerous in transition. The Payne shots that I prefer that he not take are those ones in traffic, where he goes to the rack and tries to get that floater over the top. Because if he falls over, it's 4 on 5, up the other end in transition. But if he pulls up for that open 3, then I'll live with that, because at least we ain't at least we got numbers going back in transition. But yeah, OG was precision in this one, man. OG turned up today in a major way. I'm so proud of OG getting that game ball, right? So Mitch's grade gave us the 2 blocks and a steal. Great to see him back. He was impactful, right? So I'm going to give Mitchy, in his minutes, I'm going to give Mitch a B+. Right? We need that. We need that size, that intimidation down low in the paint as well. And without his rebounding, he gave us 3 offensive rebounds and a few tip backs, 100% from the field as well. Everything we need from our guy controlling the paint. And look, if we win the battle of the boards and the paint points, we're going to win this series, because Beef Stew is looking quite hampered right now. He couldn't keep up with the drives, getting in all sorts of foul trouble. I think as this series goes on, man, I think we're going to be able to absolutely take advantage and capitalize on the limitation, the limited movement of Isaiah Stewart. But if Isaiah Stewart is under the rack, he's a handful, because he can block shots. He is one of the best shot blockers, and the Knicks need to pull him out. The Knicks got to pull him out to take advantage of the lack of foot speed with that one. So now let's talk about Mikal Bridges, because there was a referendum coming into this playoff series on how people would feel about Mikal Bridges, man. 28 minutes, 4 of 9, 0 of 2 from downtown. I would have liked him to get more shots up, and that's obviously on everybody, the point guard, but he has to call for the ball as well. He has to be more aggressive. Obviously him hitting a couple of above the break threes is going to be key for us, especially in transition. He has to, make sure that he gets loose. We know he can get to the rack, he can finish, the mid-range he can do, but we need some threes from Bridges. But we need better defense. -16 in this one. He was by far the worst Knick in major minutes, -16. So Mikal Bridges, right? We won this game, and we didn't get a good Bridges game. Here he is hitting that mid-range post up on Tim Hardaway. Yeah, we just need more of that. Help on both sides, and he needs to play more physical. He needs to play with more energy. Right? This is MSG. This is the playoffs. Mikal. So I'm going to go for his grade. We dial up Mikal Bridges. Man, minus 16 is tough, right? 44% from the field. Try not to kill Bridges, but we just have to call it like we see it. So Bridges will get a C from me in this one. Salute Paula. DeRas in the house. GK says Mitch A. An A for the Block Nest Monster, says Luke. Yep. I love it, man. We got contributions from our bench. Go figure, Tibbs. So without further ado, I think Tibbs is going to get the grade coming up right now. And what do you guys think? Tom Thibodeau. He made some adjustments, and it helped us win the ball game. So Tibbs does deserve the A in this one. I'm going to give Tibbs the A. DeRas has gone with the D for Mikal Bridges on that one. So Mikal Bridges gets the D for DeRas. Hopefully the D improves from Mikal. He had his hands full, says Luke, and on both sides he'll get a C+. And Patrick says Bridges got cooked by Timmy. Yeah, I wasn't happy at that point. Their role players were playing way too well. I was like, look, if Cade beats us and we quiet down everyone else, I'm like, that's the best course. But we can't let Cade start to get everyone feeling good, because then our defense has to work too much. We have to then focus on Malik We have to focus on Hardaway. We have to focus on Tobias. But at the end of the day, our defense stepped up in the fourth quarter, and Cat was coming up. There was less drop coverage. He was definitely trying to hedge on the pick and rolls. So we went through the 1v1 matchups. The Knicks won more of the matchups, Obviously, Brunson trumped Cade late because Cade was turning it over, and Brunson, closed it out, hit a big three, a big and one, and obviously he had his poor stretches as well, so he can play better still. And then we had OG. He played better than Tim Hardaway. Cat won the Tobias matchup, in my opinion, late. Mitch won the Duren matchup. Isaiah Stewart wasn't a factor. Cam Payne won the Schroeder and Malik Beasley matchup. Cam Payne was what everyone hoped Malik Beasley was going to be for them. Right. Cam Payne out Malik Beasley them. Yeah, so we went on a major run, mummy. We went on a major run, 21-0 run, fueled by defense and transition baskets. But the Pistons were just shook, The Pistons just got way too shook. As we knew, when the crowd was going to get rowdy, the Knicks stepped up their energy when they needed, man. We had legends in the building, Pat Ewing, Bernard King. I love that interview from Alan Hahn as well. And OG Demanobi got the game ball. So anyone else that we're missing out on? Payne got the grade. Deuce and Shamet we got to talk about. So, yeah, I feel like, look, the bench, if a few guys step up, that's gravy. I don't really see everyone else stepping up at the same time. Shamet gave us some minutes. Thankfully, Tibbs just didn't play him too much. He was a -6. Cam Payne got the bulk of those minutes late. And Deuce McBride, we do need his 3-point shot to go down. So hopefully Deuce can have more of an impact moving ahead. I'll give both of those two also a C, right? Maybe even a C-, because Mikal Bridges did give us more production than those guys. So if I'm going to give Mikal a C, then Landry and Deuce have to be a D in this one. Or at least Deuce was a plus, though. He was a +9 and gave us 4 dimes. Now, what's your prediction moving forward, guys? As the Knicks win the first game, there were some positives, there were some constructives to come out of this one. I think Tibbs would have learned a hell of a lot. I think we limit the Malik Beasley and the Tobias Harris explosions, and the Knicks win this one a lot earlier by 20 points, right? But to get Tobias Harris scoring 22 points at the half, right, the Knicks would have been up by 10. The Knicks would have been up by 15 without him. Yeah, Mummy Starter says Bridges needs to understand that the Knicks, that he plays with the Knicks now, not the New Jersey Nets. Yeah, we need naughty dogs, and we need some pit bulls up in this thing. Yeah, I got a feel for Precious. Obviously Luke. Someone had to miss out on some playoff minutes, and he might be a factor later in the playoffs. We'll wait and see. I think Precious is more of a matchup for Boston. But I think Tibbs has understood that we need more floor spacing, I don't think he's going to play any more than 2 non-spacers at the same time, and so he did have to give Champagne a little bit of minutes tonight, but Deuce has to hit some shots as well. Buzzer says we need more from Bridges. Yeah. What would you prefer on both sides? I would prefer more defense from Bridges because I think we have the scoring. I simply think Bridges has to be tougher defensively, Make them call it. Like, pick up a few fouls. How many fouls did Bridges get called for tonight? 3 fouls. 3 fouls from Bridges. Be more physical. If Cade's trying to post up, then push him back. So be more of a physical presence. Obviously he ain't gonna be able to fight over every single screen, but if he can be more physical, then I think that's going to give this team a major boost. Because man, OG is working his tail off right now. OG is going to wear down if we're gonna need this level of defensive effort every night from OG. We're going to need more from Hart defensively. We're going to need more from Macau and Mitchie as well. My God, play of the night, Mitchell Robinson with the putback, man. Beef stew caught under the rim, looking up, man. He didn't even have time to get out of the way in that one. And yeah, Brunson's floater was a little bit off tonight. I feel like he didn't get the lift, and he didn't quite have the legs, to get that one up. But yeah, that was my play of the game tonight, guys. Buzzer says, CT, if Macau has a C-level playoff performance, is he done in New York? It's tough to say completely without the whole series playing out. But if you want me to look ahead, and if it's basically the same as tonight for the rest of the playoff run, then yeah, I would say there's serious doubt moving forward. We need more. He wants to be a max level guy. Well, a major salary kind of guy. We need more than that. What does it say that a veteran's minimum, Cameron Payne, gives us more production than a guy that you traded 5 firsts for as well? I think the writing is going to be on the wall, fam. So yeah, great question, as always. Like Patrick says, Payne was an unusual suspect. That's why Tibbs needs to go that 10 deep. I know who can surprise us any given game. Yeah, he can definitely capitalize. When he can see a hole in the defense, can Cam. Part of those guys that look for their shot are dangerous when the defense doesn't respect them. And Malik Beasley just didn't respect Cam Payne at that point. He just took him to the rack in that one. So look at the captain there, man. Salute Patrick Ewing, the legend, in the building as an ambassador for the Knicks, working for the organization, watching the New York Knicks win a playoff game. Man, there ain't nothing sweeter than that. Seeing big number 33 in the building, Bernard King, Spreewell, LJ at the live site as well. No doubt we're going to see some footage from the live site. But Clyde, man, he was given Mitch his major props for seeing his ball, seeing the man in this one. This is up there with one of my favorite plays of the game as well. Mitch is the most engaged player on the court in this possession. Look at Isaiah Stewart. He had no idea where the ball was coming from. And Mitchie just lobbed up and said, man, I'm a demon. I'm just going to grab this out of the air. And OG Anunoby pull up 3. My goodness, man, he's become an offensive player right now as OG. OG with a pull up above the break 3. They called him a corner specialist when he came in town. Right now he's pulling up like he's Ray Allen, man, as well. What a transformation from OG Anunoby. What a player, man. What an investment it's been, man. 23 points in a playoff game with 7 stocks on the other side. Man, if that isn't prime Kawhi Leonard, then nothing is, man. How do you be a plus 10, 23 points on one side and 7 stocks on the other side and not be called a Kawhi Leonard-like demon? That is just simply phenomenal, right? The Pistons don't have no player on their roster that's capable of 7 stocks and 23 points on the other side, right? And he's arguably our 2nd, 3rd, 4th best player, talented player. Right now, he's definitely playing like the best player, the 2nd best player. But in terms of just talent, He's on the rise right now. Tobias Harris late on the closeout. Hidalgo says scoring was great. Bridges played well on D. OG put Cade in a cage. Next game we win by 20. I like that. I like that confidence, fam. We definitely got to take it game at a time. But yeah, we have to shut them out early, win the next game, put the pressure on, win game 3, and then it's over. Luke says Mikal will make or break his fit against the Celtics in a conference finals. Yes, I said conference finals. New York Knicks all the way. It'll have to be semifinals, Luke, this time. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Buzzer says, CT, will we see Oak at MSG for these playoffs? That's a great comment, man. Great question. I feel like it'll only happen if the Knicks go on an extended run. There is some positivity that Dolan and Oak might bury their beef, but there's nothing really, imminent. Nothing imminent right now. Maybe the Knicks will have to, definitely go to the second, third round, I think, for maybe the buzz to grow and maybe something to happen. Yeah, Anthony, I was happy to see Tibbs play that 9-man. Was glad to see it. Keep it up. Patrick says, Knicks fans, we expecting more. We're definitely expecting a more consistent game. There's no reason the Knicks should have been down 12 or 11 or whatever it was, fam. I think we were just in our own head at that point. But yeah, Tibbs had to get the right lineups because Cat was getting killed when Jalen Duren was out there. When Beef Stew got fouled out, things changed. When Duren got that alley-oop, when Cade found him, I thought, man, our pick and roll coverage has to get much, much better. And so, yeah, our next game on Monday, Buzzer. Next game Monday, game 3 is going to be all the way on Thursday as well. And then game 4 is on Sunday, fam. So there's 2 days rest between 2 and 3 and 3 and 4, but only 1 day rest to the next one. So we're back at it Monday. The New York Knicks take the 1-0 lead. I might be back on tomorrow night to recap this thrilling win. But New York Knicks, Empire State Building, lit up orange and blue. What a finish this was to this ball game, man. As the Knicks go their season best 21-0 run right now. The Pistons thought they had it. Pistons fans are probably talking smack, probably in ecstasy. But the game wasn't over until the fat lady sings. And the New York Knicks just absolutely buckled down and put them in a cage. Right. We're back at it Monday, fam. I can't wait. Minnesota's up by 14 to start the third, says Stefan. So, yeah, I've got to duck out, but I'll try to catch some of that game. I'm rooting for Minnie. I'm rooting for Minnie in this one. But our New York Knicks, 3 game balls tonight. Payne brought the pain. Cat with a cat attack. First playoff game as a Knick. And OG Demon Obi continues to be the best player, the most in-form player on this squad since the All-Star break. Right. What an opener to the playoffs, man. It was a crazy game. Altieri says, give Mikal some grace. Cade is a special talent. Yeah. Cade had a great 3 quarters, and the New York Knicks made things difficult late. But yeah, I think the Knicks just had too many weapons when push comes to shove, right? Yes, Tobias was getting loose, Malik Beasley and that, but they have to also defend on the other side, right? The Knicks have a lot of offensive talent, and Detroit can't win this series if their role players don't play D, right? They're literally fouling like a junior varsity team, you know? Osar Thompson was complaining about picking up his second foul in like the first few minutes, man. Stupid fouls from Detroit, and they're not going to be able to hang with us if they play defense with their hands in that one. So Big up to the chat. Smash that like button. The Knicks streets are buzzing. And we're back at it, man, to take game 2 on Monday. Let's go Knicks. All day, every day. Peace, everyone.